Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Builder Series. We're excited to go down under. Someone who woke up early for us in Australia. Brooklyn Eller is a longtime shipster who is not only running a successful consultancy, but also exploring what's possible with APIs. And she just had an amazing hackathon entry. So today we're going to look at how she's running a business on Chipp with AI and customer data. So welcome, Brooklyn. Great to have you.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me. Yes, it's very early in the morning, but I'm happy to be up. Good way to start the day.
I think so too. We'll kick it off on the right foot. So tell us a little bit about your business and how you got this idea that maybe AI could help me with my business.
Well, as part of what I do in organizational development and also coaching with people, is I essentially help them with their strategies to get them to an outcome, right? And the predominant way that I do that is working with the individual and the way they react, respond, communicate, very much communicate, and what their needs are to feel seen and heard and to see and understand. So inside of that, you have things like understanding the cognitive mind. And then further than that, something that is a skill that's really hard to get a handle on is the behavioral adaptive system. So the behavioral adaptive system is a huge, complex deal, very, very difficult to get right from a human perspective. And AI is really the natural solution.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So you're coming at this not as a developer or someone highly technical, but more as a business expert. So tell us how that feels in this world of AI.
To be honest with you, it's so exciting to have what you've created, have this ease of experience, ease of use, because there's a lot of amazing ideas out there. And being on the ground with people, working with them, we're seeing the problems, right? As a business owner, we see the problems and we see the need. So having something that we can, whether it's bringing an MVP or something else to life, to get it moving in the right direction to ultimately help people, it's really exciting. The previous pathways, as everyone is aware of, was really, really expensive and really, really tricky. So very, very happy.
So knowing that, I am amazed at what you built. So walk us through a little bit, because you didn't just build one API, you connected multiple things together, really like automating your business from sign up to accessing information. So maybe before we see it, just high level, kind of what was the architecture or the goal?
Well, the goal was to make sure that I could connect in and make sure that people had signed up appropriately, right? I needed to use that via Airtable, using Zapier, and also switching back into Go High Level because I'm using multiple platforms to be able to communicate. And then the goals that I'm working towards now is actually having all the information that the client requests to be saved to be able to plug back in to Go High Level under their account so it can be dynamically used. So that's not built yet. That's on its way. It's very exciting though, just the process and how easy you made the non-coding API. I mean, my gosh, you can't imagine just how terrible I am with these things. So to have this is phenomenal.
That's great. So I don't know if you want to share your screen or talk through it more in detail. I'd love to see kind of how it's built and then kind of inspire people who might be watching this that you too can do this. And as you mentioned, some of the key pieces, Go High Level, Zap, Airtable, and Chipp are kind of like the stack you're using. So
Inside the back office, the usual things, all the E's. So we just go into our name, exactly what to do, our buttons, the model that we're using, all of the instructions, knowledge source. This knowledge source as well is going to be upgraded into Notion, right? Just for people who are scared of all these big words. I learned Notion in around about 5 minutes. That's how easy it is to use. And then it's even easier with the API. I want to show just the basics because the goal is for me in this conversation is to empower the users to not be overwhelmed by this, right? So inside of the lookup user, it's such an easy activity to do. And it makes such sense. And for the 1,000 ways that you could use this, and I'm sure that you could express more than me, but going into lookup, you said, this is how simple it is. Accept username and email to validate that they have purchased through Stand Store and has authorization to use Insight Mirror. Now, The reason why I'm not going through Chipp for the purchase option at the moment is because I'm part of this amazing challenge called the Stephen Stan Challenge. If anyone has heard of Diary of the CEO, so he's got this amazing run on at the moment, and I have to go through this link to be part of the challenge. So here we are. It's just get the API, and that's it.
Yeah. And so people are purchasing from a checkout, they get pushed into Airtable, and then this
Yes.
is going to essentially check that they can communicate if they're on that list.
That's exactly right. Every single time. The automation process of this, the other workarounds and options were just cumbersome and ridiculous. But I think what the point is that you've made this so flexible and user friendly to so many use cases and I guess requirements of me being the user to make this work is just fantastic. So yeah, I so appreciate it. So,
Amazing.
the other side of this obviously goes into Zapier and does some other pieces, but I just wanted to showcase just the one and the ease of that
Yeah.
use as well.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Well, tell us a little bit about what you're excited about next in your business and where people can go learn more about what you're working on.
Oh my gosh. Next in my business. Well, I think the most exciting thing for me is where this can go. So, psychological safety in the workplace, being able to communicate and address the human needs in organizations, especially as we embrace AI and bring more of these automations, we need to make sure we don't lose the human touch. What I'm building here with Insight Mirror is a framework that we're going to be able to very quickly unpack the layers of experience and belief systems and things that navigate the way we interact and connect with each other. Something that you can do individually on one or two trait understandings and what that's demonstrating and broadcasting, but to be able to have over 48 nuanced traits with around about, I think, 12 to 15. It varies. Some are 3, some are up to 20. But if we're going to go in the mid range, different ways that trait can be expressed, and then the interaction interplay between each of those to be able to create a blueprint of how to care for someone and make them feel seen and heard is an amazing advancement. Right? It's
Yeah.
an amazing advancement to human connection. I'm very much all about ethical AI, making sure that we use it to enhance communication, enhance connection, and to, just be able to be more real with each other as we develop and grow in this space. So I'm
That's
very excited.
amazing. Well, where's a good website to come visit to learn more?
Okay, well, come have a visit me at Standstore, Innate Perspectives. You can drop that link in the chat and in the space here. Certainly for the next month, go there, sign up for everything. There's loads of freebies. One extra bonus though, do you want to have a couple of your traits read?
Let's do it. Let's go through the
All right.
traits so people know what we're doing. Yeah.
We're in. Let's do it. So I'll just go inside the system just to save time. So it is simple as beginning. Now, this one that I'm bringing you into, actually, no, this is the full version. And let me double check. Great. Actually, because you haven't signed up yet, shame on you, to go into the other one that I've made for freebies.
All right, let's do the freebies here. Yeah.
So we just get started, put in the first name to personalize the report, gives you a set of instructions, tell you what it's looking at. We're looking at attachment theory through leakage. We're looking at the adaptive behavioral systems and something called Latin words, which is almost a lost science, but it's a neuroscience understanding of the mapping of behaviors according to traits and then what that reflects back to us. So we're going to put in, it's as simple as putting 2 to 3 photos. I've got you. I already.
Oh, you already got me?
I already hooked you up. I went in.
I was all showered and ready.
Got you.
Oh, this is so fun. So this uses the image recognition feature and it allows you to do amazing stuff. I haven't thought of this use case. So there I am. Yep.
I know you're coming up. What's really cool about this and super important that it keeps on going down, reflect me, but I want you to put in images that reflect you.
Yeah.
Right? The recommendation is one, just straight, one big smile and one profile. So we get good coverage. And then are we ready? Reflect me.
Oh, I'm a little nervous. This is fantastic.
This is really fun. So our little cog turns, it's thinking, thinking, thinking.
Yep. And have you discovered things about yourself or others that were big surprises, or is it usually validating what you would have guessed?
Well, okay, let me share something. This is actually really important to share. I want to pull you into my screen so I can see you straight on. I have 4 kids,
Yeah.
right? 3 adult children, and one turning 15 in a couple of days, and an ex-husband. And everyone knows the things that go on in these relationships. They're really, you just don't know how to understand what the damage has been of the process of being a divorced parent and how you handle that situation. But more importantly, the meaning your children gave those experiences.
Okay.
So when it comes to understanding this, well, it's difficult to find the right roadmap sometimes with your adult children or even younger children. So this gave me a way of engaging with them without having to understand or have them express the reasons why they need to be treated a certain way. I just got the roadmap. I just got the pathway to connection. They'll open up and use the words later on, right? That's just such an essential piece of data for me as a parent. And to be honest with you, it's made the world of difference because my children are wildly different. What works for one does not work for the other. And sometimes I feel like I'm in a wild storm of activity managing emotional climates, which is exactly what I'm doing, right? This way, I've got these great conversation prompts, starter pieces to understand exactly how to create connection, especially when I'm under stress, right? When I'm under stress, as everyone, your cortisol drops within like 50%. Within 7 minutes of cortisol flooding, you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just, I've got my little touch points. Okay, cool. All right, go outside and throw the ball with Jamin. That works for him. Go for a walk side by side. Ask him not how was your day, what was something interesting about your day? Because that's a difference for him. Whereas my other son, Isaac, that's a bad idea. I have to send him a message to schedule in advance at least a week to say, would you like to attend and be more formal with the relationship? Now, that's not because we don't have fun and play. That's just his pathway to connection. So, those things are really, really exciting. But let's get to you.
Let's
Are
see
you
it.
ready?
I'm
Are you
ready.
ready?
Let's go.
Okay. So, the face, you show the world. There's a quiet, approachable warmth in the way you meet the world. Your features combine to project a sense of genuine openness as an invitation to others and feel at ease in your presence. So you signal sincerity and a history of real joy and connection. Let's go. There's a sense of intentionality in how you present yourself, well groomed, attentive to detail, and quietly confident. Like, this is nice.
Hey, I like this. I like this AI.
So you're both approachable and intriguing. I'm
Okay.
going to agree with that.
All right. I like it.
It works for me, as sometimes this balance can be misread. Your thoughtful pauses or moments of introspection might be mistaken for distant, when in truth, they're simply part of your carefully considered way of being, right?
This is
This one
fun.
it's nice. This is like the big one. So you can speed this up.
Yeah.
How you naturally lead, approachability and discernment. You create a sense of psychological safety so people feel seen and valued in your presence. Largely because of your natural warmth and genuine engagement invite openness. You're likely to step forward when you sense a gap in leadership and when others need reassurance, but you also might hesitate to assert yourself if it risks disrupting group cohesion. So how does any of that sound?
It sounds very accurate. It does feel like I like how you broke this into pieces to kind of give the information in bits. I know that's one thing people struggle with is like, oh, it's too long or it's too this or too that. I really like that how you give people digestible kind of pieces along the way.
Thank you. Well, it was considered. I'm a natural fact finder. I need lots of information, so my
Mhm.
reports that I built for myself are days long. But I feel like this strikes a balance. There are 7 sections, so I won't read all of them. But it's
Yeah.
nice to know the subheadings, what drives you and sometimes overwhelms you. Right?
Yeah.
This is a good thing to know about yourself.
Yeah.
How to align your internal compass.
Like, how did you kind of prompt this? Did you write that? Is it from work you've done in the past? Like, how did you kind of build this out? 'Cause that's a
Yeah.
lot of challenge for people is like, how do I start?
Well, basically, I took the information that I knew, made a consideration for the best way to present the data sets, right? Because it's a data driven aspect, even though it's presented in a really warm and friendly kind of language structure. what lives behind it is a robust set of data. Creating that blend there. So the data set that lives there is in table form for it to be able to grab the different elements as it connects the dots.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So yeah, it's big. It's a big back end. Process and perform, which is really cool. So let's look at this one. I like this one. When faced with pressure, your instinct is to pause and assess, gathering information, weighing options, and considering the broader impact before taking action. This reflective style means you rarely act impulsively. Instead, you prefer to move with intention, ensuring your choices align with your values and the needs of those around you. Right? How does that relate to you?
Sounds good. Yeah. Some people might say I'm more impulsive, but I think I like to think of myself this way.
Well, this is your adaptive system under stress moments, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It's not always going to be fun, Scott, where you just
Yep.
go, yeah, cool, I'm running out, I can do this. Whereas under stress, my report says something entirely different.
Yeah.
Throw everything up in the air and run.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's really deep. The good news is at the end of this report and the new API that is about to be built this week is that it will actually present itself across into a PDF. So it'll grab this data, push it into a PDF, and that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to let you read this one on your own, what others might not know, right? You might not want everyone to know that. Then what's coming inside of the education series that I'm building is learning how to do dynamic trait assessments. So you can put here in your wife and do a roadmap for you guys. That was the growth section. And this one is when you're at your best. So we end on a high.
There you go. I like that. That's amazing. Well, it's so fun to see this in action. Like you said, I think what helps with AI is taking action on the information, right? So here's how I work, and then say, how can I communicate with my spouse, or how can I organize my day better around my strengths, or whatever it might be. It's really fun to see this in practice. So thanks so much for sharing.
Thank you so much. And I agree with you. I mean, we can get a lot of information, but if we can't use that information toward the betterment of our relationships and our connections, what's the point?
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, Brooklyn Eller, so great to have you in the Chipp community, and thanks for entering the hackathon, and awesome to see what you've built.
Thank you so much.